Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. First and foremost, may the 4th be with you. Happy International Star Wars Day everybody. Today we're taking a look at a seldom seen 2-pack from the Black Series 6-inch line. We don't get 2-packs very often, but when we do, as seen recently with the C-3PO and Super Battle Droid and Mace Windu and 187th Battalion Clone Trooper, Hasbro tend to knock it out of the park, and this set is no exception. Straight out of the explosive flashback scenes from Episode 5 of Star Wars Ahsoka comes the Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant and Ahsoka's 332nd Clone Trooper. This is an absolutely incredible pack. It's an instant hit in my book as it uses the fantastic 2024 Clone Trooper sculpt that I gave you a look at in my previous review. Add a few splashes of colour to that figure and you get an absolute cracker. We'll dive into the details of each figure shortly, but as always, if you'd like to add one of these sets to your own collection, there's a link in the video description that will take you, of course, to Star Action Figures. These guys just recently shipped in, and at the time of recording are in stock and available to buy. Once again, another huge thanks to the Hasbro UK team for making this and all my other recent reviews possible, and I'll be back with so many more in the coming weeks and months. So let's dive into this review, and we'll kick things off as always by taking a look at the packaging. So as you can see, for all intents and purposes, this is pretty standard Black Series packaging. Being a 2-pack, of course, it has been extended to accommodate 2 figures, and it's not very often that I give you a look at the packaging for these figures with the figures still inside it. So that's again thanks to Hasbro UK, who were kind enough to supply 2 of these sets for a review. So once again, a huge thanks goes out to them. What I really love about this box is, and it's something that I've not really touched on in my recent reviews, is the fact that the windows are back. Obviously we had a phase of windowless packaging, plastic free, all that sort of stuff. Love the sentiment, I'm all for saving the planet, but nothing quite comes close to being able to see the figures that you're buying inside the box, and I think this is an absolutely fantastic showcase of the figures included. You can see the figures, you can see all of the accessories, it looks really nice. So obviously, as you can see, we do have the Star Wars The Black Series logo featured at the top there. We've got the figures inside the box, and of course the colour band running around the edge of the box that indicates these characters are from Star Wars Ahsoka. Down at the bottom you've got the character names, and then on the side of the box you've got that really nice mural image once again of both of these clone troopers, the 332nd Trooper at the top and the Phase 1 Clone Lieutenant there down at the bottom. Really nice stuff there. And then on the back once again you've got that image, or those images of the characters, accompanied by a brief description of the troopers as well. So like I said, pretty standard stuff in terms of the overall packaging. It's what we've come to expect from the Black Series as a whole, but like I said, I think this is a really nice showcase of these 2 figures. I think I'm probably going to be keeping this one in the box and sticking it in a display case because it just looks really cool. So here are the figures, of course, outside of the packaging, and as I mentioned at the start of this review, this pack is an instant hit in my opinion due to its utilisation of the new Clone Trooper sculpt. I was already excited about this set, but opening up the new Phase 1 Clone Trooper beforehand and realising just how good that figure was made me even more excited to rip this one open. The Clone Trooper Lieutenant is a vast improvement over the previously released exclusive from 2020, and I missed out on the elusive first release of the 332nd Clone Trooper, so I was very keen to get hold of this pack. We'll touch on the articulation briefly with these figures right out of the gate, as they're both the same, and I did cover it more extensively in my last video. Then we'll get into the paint details and the accessories. So we'll kick things off with the Phase 1 Lieutenant. Like I said, the articulation on both of these figures is identical, so we'll just run through it quickly with this figure. We do of course get a ball joint at the head, and as always there's a ball joint in the base of the head and at the bottom of the neck, which allows for free-flowing realistic movement. We have hinges and butterfly joints at the shoulders, so that allows you to pose the figure holding the weapon really nicely. We have hinges at the elbows and at the wrists. There's a nice ball joint at the torso that once again isn't hindered by the chest piece, as this is now a separate overlay, and I absolutely love that. We also have hinges at the hips and swivels at the upper thigh. Hinges at the knees, and once again these knee pads are independent separate pieces now, so again no movement hindered there. And we also have hinges and rocker joints at the ankles, so great articulation. Like I said in my last review of the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, you can get this guy in some absolutely fantastic poses, and he's going to look great leading your troopers on your shelf. It's really, really cool. Absolutely love this one. Now, while we're on the subject of the Clone Lieutenant, of these two figures, like I said, this one is probably more similar to the Phase 1 clone that we looked at in my last review. The only difference, of course, being the flashes of blue all over the armour that denote his rank. The blue colour that's being used is rich and vibrant and looks really, really nice, really stands out. And as you can see, some weathering is being added in the form of these scratches on the arms, which looks really, really nice. The helmet is, of course, removable, and underneath it is a little bit of a squeeze, but underneath, as you can see, you've got that fantastic Tem Morrison likeness once again. This is the same as the previously reviewed Phase 1 clone, in the sense that you've got these scratches and scars all over his face as well, which is really nice. Yeah, just absolutely love this figure. It's so well done. Really hope we see some of the other sort of commanders and captains and sergeants repainted up down the line. But yeah, really cool. Each of these figures does come with two accessories. We get the standard DC-15A rifle and a DC-15S carbine, which the 332nd clone is holding. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit. And what's really cool about that is the fact that both of these figures can hold both weapons in both hands due to the addition of the extra trigger finger, which is really nice to see. So that is the Phase 1 Clone Lieutenant. Just try and stand him up without falling over. Does get a little bit heavy when he's pointing that rifle like that, but there we go. Onto the 332nd Clone Trooper now, and this is probably my favourite figure of the two. This is another excellent figure and another huge improvement over its previous release. The first one was released as part of a Walmart exclusive wave of Clone Wars figures back in, I think, 2020 or 2021. That figure was based on the Camino Clone Trooper from 2020 and didn't feature a removable helmet. The paint applications as well, from the images that I've seen, were arguably worse. So, you know, this one is a vast improvement. The addition of a removable helmet, of course, better paint apps, and all the modifications to the base mold that we touched on make this a more than worthy revisit. Add to the fact that the original was a limited release and fetches a premium on the secondary market. I'm just thrilled that Hasbro put this pack together. Like I said, he looks really cool. The shade of blue that's being used on this trooper is very similar to the Lieutenant. You've got a little bit of weathering on this one, but not as much as the Lieutenant. And like I said, he does come with both a DC-15A rifle and a DC-15S carbine as well. Both of the weapons lack any paint detail, which is a shame, but the sculpt is there. And again, that helmet with Ahsoka's markings looks really nice. Like I said, I didn't pick up the original release of this figure, but I have seen images of it, and I think the paint applications on this version are much crisper. This helmet looks really cool, and that orange colour that's being used really stands out on a shelf. Of course, from the head down, you've got the usual sort of 501st Legion markings with the stripes down the knees. Again, another little bit of weathering there as well. And like I said, for the most part, articulation wise, he is exactly the same as the Phase 1 Clone Lieutenant. So really cool stuff. And of course, he does feature, once again, a very tight fitting, but nonetheless removable helmet. So really cool stuff. Very excited about this set, and really happy to have it in the collection. So that's going to wrap up this review on the Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant and 332nd Clone Trooper 2-pack. Overall, this set just improves on perfection. I really hope at some point that Hasbro get around to repaint the Phase 1 Clone Trooper in other colours. I also really hope that we see other troopers from Ahsoka's 332nd Company released in the Black Series. Captain Vaughn, for example, would be an excellent addition. But like I said, this is a phenomenal 2-pack, and most importantly, it makes sense. It's an army builder above all else, and I can see myself adding multiples of these to my own collection. If you'd like to do the same, once again, be sure to hit that link in the video description, and a huge thanks once more goes out to Hasbro UK. And once again, here's wishing you all the happiest of International Star Wars Days. Until next time guys, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the 4th be with you.